Hello and welcome to the Somatic Movement and Mindset podcast with me, clinical somatic educator and founder of Total Somatics, Heidi Hadley. The Somatic Movement and Mindset podcast has been designed to help you gain a deeper understanding to how your mind and body work. You will learn about your amazing mind and body and why over time you can feel pain, recurring injuries and poor posture. Within this podcast, I will teach you why this doesn't have to be your future or the norm for you. Would you like to learn how to reduce pain, move freely, and gain a new lease of life? Let's get started. Hello and welcome back. Now, in today's episode, I'm going to answer a question which has been posed to me a lot recently. So I thought I'd share this with you. And the question is, how can total somatic movement help with my gut issues? Is it possible? So the answer is yes, it can help with any gut issues. But what I'd like to do is unpack this whole subject because it's really important to delve a little bit deeper into why this is beneficial for you. So for example, with total somatic movement, what we wanted to do is increase mobility. So we're going to start bringing movement back into your muscles, but not just your muscles. We're going to be bringing movement back into your ribs. Because if you suffer with gut issues, and for whatever reason it could be an autoimmune link, or it could be stress response, whatever the reason is, when you have pain, when you have discomfort, one of the first things that happens is when you get pain, you go, you might hold your breath, you tense. And so you'll hunker down and you draw and tighten your rib cage. So there's very limited mobility there. You might even find that there's an adaptation to your posture. So you may stoop in order to kind of cradle and take care of your gut health. There's different sort of body armoring techniques that people can develop. But if we have this pattern of behavior on a regular basis and we have a pattern of pain and discomfort, we know that it shapes and molds our entire musculature. So when we are considering how total somatic movement can help, we know that we're going to be basically loosening through your ribs, through your abdomen, through your waist muscles, through your hips, all the way through to your head. So again, all the way down to your feet as well. So your entire posture, your entire movement pattern will be helped and assisted with this. Because again, when there's pain, not only is there pain, but again, it's how we hold ourselves, how we change out the way that we sit, how we move, our breathing. And over time, with this adaptation, there's an area, it's a huge concept actually, it's called fascia. Now, fascia is the architecture, it's instrumental in the scaffolding in holding all your organs in place in your abdomen, in the whole region there. So it's the fascia is incredible because if we didn't have that, there wouldn't be the organization within your entire trunk that's going to put your guts and your liver and your gallbladder in all these different places. So your fascia is holding everything in place. It's also like a scaffolding that is supporting blood vessels and nerves around your body. But if you joined me within the Total Somatics live experience in recent months, you would have experienced and noticed, and if you remember, you'll know even more so, that I've shown you slides, cross-sectional slides of fascia and how that's interwoven, it's interlinked with your muscles. And so we can't separate your fascia from your muscles because the two of them work really well together, well, incredibly well. But your fascia is what creates that basically elastic recoil, that mobility. And so when we lose that, that's when we see it in the way that we walk, we have like a heaviness and we might just be quite heavy footed. We don't have that rhythm and that bounce as we walk. Well, that principle is still going on internally. So just consider for a moment your colon, it's still part of your muscular system. And in order to create the peristalsis, that muscular contraction that moves your food along your colon, that also requires that elastic recoil, that movement of your fascia. Also, the way that your colon is held, that's all being suspended and supported by your fascia. So as a result of this, if we have pain and we have discomfort, your fascia has a lot more sensory receptors than your muscles. And so they get reactive and they will respond accordingly to that pain and discomfort. And so when we start bringing in somatic movement but somatic mindset and total somatic mindfulness too. So we're going to bring all of that together within total somatics. You'll notice that actually we start to change the way that our fascia, the way that our muscles, the way that our organs will move. And within the Total Somatics membership, there's lots of workshops, but one workshop in particular would be of interest for people that are asking this question. Is I held a workshop to show you the way and explained how your muscles, or should I say how your organs and systems, how they move when we pandiculate. You see, there's a great deal of mobility, a lot of action and movement happening with your organs when you pandiculate. And so that's what's so great about total somatics, is it's this total somatic or global approach to your entire health and well-being, right down to your internal world of how your organs move during pandiculation. So this is why it's deepening your awareness and your practice, because you will learn this within the membership, that when you pandiculate, you're doing more than just softening and releasing muscle tension. You're working on helping with tonicity and health and well-being of your organs. And if you consider for a moment, if you had more space in your abdominal region from releasing muscle tension with pandiculation, could you imagine how much healthier, how much more space, how much more vitality your organs would have? Imagine the increase of nutrients being taken from your intestinal region into your entire system via your bloodstream. You see, this is happening when we start to bring a total somatic awareness practice to our daily activities. Also, when we're considering how total somatic movement, total somatic mindfulness, total somatic mindset all come into play, what we also uncover, especially within the membership, is that there are specific audios that I've created, and it's to help to dial down that stress response. That stress response, which is instrumental in firing up and creating that reactiveness within your gut. And so when I teach you with these audios that you can put them in your ears, and there's this music and that will play, and it has a special resonance that actually helps with my audio, with my cues, and with your practice to actually wind down that stress response, to create a better equilibrium and a state of balance from within. When you develop that practice and it becomes a nice regular practice that you can also take to your daily activities, what you'll then find is how you can take back control of your health and well-being. And so even if you have something, say, like Crohn's disease or colitis, and you might go, well, you know, it's autoimmune, there's not much I can do about it. Could I suggest that you kind of switch your mindset and consider that because of epigenetics, this is a whole new area of science. What we've realized is that when we have genes and they get passed down through generations, we have this control of either switching a gene on or switching a gene off. If we have something like Crohn's or colitis, what we want to do is manage our state that in the current situation that we have. And this is where it's really powerful, because consider if you have a flare-up with Crohn's or colitis, just what do you do? Think about your patterns of movement and posture when you're in pain. Do you notice that you kind of maybe hunker down? Do you maybe become quite immobilized? Have you noticed your quality of breathing? Have you noticed your emotional, your mental well-being? Do you feel that there's a shift that happens? Maybe you have a drop in energy. Could I consider that if you are thinking about total somatics, that this is something that would really support you? And that is because on the days when you feel there's a lot of pain, you may not want to do any movement, but what you could do is put the headset in, put your earphones in, and listen to the mindfulness audios that I've created. That is a powerful way of slowing down the stress response, dialing down the pain perception. That again, your pain is interpreted from your brain. So when we have an internal dialogue, when we start to kind of catastrophize and start to get even more anxious and stressed, and we feel very overwhelmed, again, everything just is amplified, from the pain to just all sorts of things that can happen in our emotional well-being. So on a day when you feel there's a lot of pain, and this also includes when I speak to members that say have POTS, fibromyalgia, or chronic fatigue, They can't do movement on some days. They just don't feel well enough to do it. However, there are different ways that we can nurture and take care of our well-being. And it doesn't have to be movement. It could be doing an audio, it could be doing some breathing techniques. It could be maybe with a cup of tea, watching some of the workshops within the Total Somatics membership to fully understand how your beautiful soma works and how this particular day that you might be sat watching that workshop, you can take in that information and know that the next day is a new day and the pain may be less. And so we're on that constant road to looking for ways that we can improve our overall health and well-being. So the key thing is I'm here to support you within the membership. So that's why it's not just about having movements. It's about having the knowledge and the skills and the experience that I have. It's about bringing in all this information that you have at your fingertips within the membership. You can look at anything within the membership whenever you're ready to, because it's open. There's no sort of delay to watch things. It's all there. It's like a buffet. You can pick and choose what you'd like to watch. But the key thing is, when we're looking at your gut health, we realize that it's more than just food. Food's really important, but it's more than just food. It's our overall mental, emotional, physical, and energetic health. We want it all to marry together to support you and serve you well. So if you'd like to know more, if you go to totalsomatics.com, you can find out much more about what's happening. If the membership doors are currently closed when you go to totalsomatics.com, if you click on the Join Now page, you'll see that there's a wait list. And if you put your details in the wait list, the next time that the membership doors are open, you're more than welcome to join me and all the beautiful members from around the world. So until next time, take care. Thank you for joining me today. If you've enjoyed this episode, please leave a rating and also forward this on to somebody you know will benefit. To learn more about pain relief, plus how to improve your health and well-being, go to totalsomatics.com. Until next time, take care.